your service to our country and to our state. Question for you. I serve as a committee of the Republican Party, and I'm getting specific questions as I go door to door from constituents, and they get the flyers from your opponent, Mr. Demos, and on 3 specific questions, they pepper me. Because I'm supporting you. You and I have history, and I appreciate your support for me when I ran for the state legislature as a pro-family, pro-life candidate. And that shows you your true conservative credentials. But they asked me to defend what Demos is accusing you of, specifically with voting. I know you don't favor the SAFE Act that you actually want to repeal. I know you don't favor Obamacare that you actually want to repeal, and that you don't favor higher taxes. But those claims are made in this literature, and all of us, have probably gotten 15 to 20 of Demos' flyers in the mail. So it's daily to get these things that are probably paid for by the Democratic machine coming from various parts of the country. But specifically, especially as a committeeman serving my constituents and advocating for your candidacy, and us all who are hopefully going to advocate for your candidacy, how do we specifically answer those 3 attacks that Mr. Demos so consistently tries to levy against you?
I have never supported Obamacare, never will. When you go to a door, when someone asks you about it, just tell them that. I have never supported Obamacare, never will. Never in any way, shape, or form. And if they ask, well, what about Senate Bill so-and-so that your opponent says funded Obamacare? The U.S. Congress funded Obamacare, not the New York State Legislature. Obamacare is in all 50 states. The federal government spends money on Obamacare in all 50 states. Our budget every single year accounts for approximately $48 billion of federal funding, like Medicaid. If I vote no on the budget, and the budget goes down, the federal government is still spending that money on Obamacare in New York. And Obamacare is in the most conservative Republican states in the entire country. Oklahoma, Texas, South Carolina. We can pass a law in Albany that says no Obamacare in New York. And we still have it. It's a federal law. Congress passed it, the President signed it, the Supreme Court upheld it. They are, let me give you, and I'm going to hopefully grab an extra minute or two if it's okay on this question. Because I want to give you a specific example. They say that page whatever, line whatever, was $24.3 million of state funding. I don't know if you've seen it. They just keep repeating it. The fact is, if you actually go to that page and line, I'll tell you 2 parts of that. I'm kind of getting into the weeds here. Don't go this far in the weeds unless you have to. $24.3 million, and it says ... RE period 3 million. Now, if my opponent knew how to read a state budget, or if he cared what was true and what was not, it's actually a reappropriation of $3.5 million. So it's not an appropriation for 24.3, it's actually a reappropriation of 3.5. Now they say that's for Obamacare. Same for Obamacare. It says online enrollment portal, but it's not Obamacare. Years ago, before we had Obamacare, New York State changed to a system where we were able to people were able to sign up online for Medicaid. That's what that was. So here, he's kind of preying upon the fact that we have people who are working, people who can't read every single word of every single bill. So he's trying to prey upon that, hoping that voters are uninformed. He can educate them his way with millions of dollars, with all these expensive advertising, convince people otherwise. He says that I raised taxes 104 times. 100% untrue. 100% untrue. They talk about income taxes and sales taxes, where if you actually get into the weeds to read what they're talking about, it's just 100% untrue. The SAFE Act funding was another example. We actually pulled out the money from the budget. There was a line item for the SAFE Act. Governor Cuomo then indicated that he was going to pull money out of a pot that he controls and use it to fund the SAFE Act, which is outrageous, which is unacceptable. But it's not like there was a line item in the budget. It said this governor indicated, I think he might be using a technology budget, I think that it may be what he was looking at, that he was going to pull money out of it. So what if you could, let's just say we know and we defund the technology budget, they could just, he could just pull money out of some other pot. And I think that's wrong. But, that's just a little bit of the background on those issues. They're not saying it because it's